Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. The sports world was absolutely shaken today as shocking news emerged from the Philadelphia Eagles locker room, and it all centers around none other than Jalen Carter. Sources close to the team report that Carter, widely regarded as one of the most explosive and dominant defensive players in the league, allegedly expressed his desire to leave the Eagles, and the revelation has sent ripples throughout the entire NFL community. Imagine the scene: a locker room filled with seasoned veterans, rookies still finding their footing, and the normally unshakable coaching staff, all trying to process the bombshell dropped by one of their own. Carter, whose talent on the field has been undeniable, seems to have reached a point where he feels the need for a fresh start, or perhaps a new challenge, and the reactions among teammates are reportedly mixed, ranging from shock to outright disbelief. This is not just a minor rumor floating around. Insiders describe the atmosphere as tense, almost combustible, with heated discussions, hushed whispers, and players exchanging looks that speak volumes. The idea of losing Carter, whose presence on the defensive line has been a cornerstone of the Eagles' strategy, raises immediate questions about team dynamics, future game plans, and the long-term implications for the franchise, and fans across the nation are holding their breath, waiting for confirmation or denial from the official sources. The timing of this revelation, right in the thick of the season, adds another layer of complexity, as the Eagles are now faced with not only managing the emotional fallout, but also preparing for upcoming games without knowing if their star player will suit up. Analysts are already speculating about possible destinations, trade value, and how rival teams might react to the opportunity to acquire such a game-changing talent. While the social media sphere explodes with theories, memes, and fan reactions, creating an almost surreal spectacle that seems bigger than football itself. Amid all this, the coaches are reportedly in crisis mode, trying to calm the locker room while simultaneously strategizing the next steps, understanding that a decision from Carter could shift the balance of power in the league, and insiders hint that there are private meetings scheduled that could determine the future of not just one player, but an entire team's trajectory. Word of Carter's potential departure has not only caught the Eagles organization off guard, but it has also sent shockwaves through the fan base, with forums, comment sections, and social media platforms buzzing nonstop. Fans are torn between disbelief, anger, and excitement, as they grapple with the possibility that one of the most promising defensive stars in recent years might walk away from a team many thought he was deeply committed to. The locker room reportedly erupted when the news became public, with some teammates expressing support, understanding that professional athletes have personal ambitions, while others feel betrayed, seeing Carter's comments as a rupture of trust that could jeopardize team cohesion. It's an emotional cocktail, one that coaches and team executives are now forced to navigate with extreme care, balancing the players' wishes against the strategic needs of the team and the expectations of a demanding fan base. Rumors suggest that Carter's camp has already opened discussions with other teams, subtly indicating interest in exploring alternatives without burning bridges with the Eagles, a move that insiders describe as both strategic and delicate. This level of uncertainty is unprecedented for Philadelphia, where fans are accustomed to a tight-knit locker room and a clear sense of direction, and now the franchise faces a public relations challenge on top of the tactical one. Meanwhile, league analysts are dissecting every detail, from Carter's past statements and social media activity to his performance metrics, trying to decode whether this desire to leave stems from dissatisfaction with management, ambition for bigger contracts, or a simple craving for change in scenery. While the media frenzy continues to grow, each outlet competing to break the next nugget of insider information. It's the kind of sports story that transcends normal reporting, creating a narrative that feels like a thriller, with high stakes, personal drama, and the looming question of how this decision will reverberate across the entire league. The ripple effects are already being felt in ticket sales, merchandise, and fan engagement, showing that the impact of a single player's potential departure is about far more than just performance on the field, touching the very fabric of the team's identity and future. With whispers of private meetings, potential trade discussions, and behind-the-scenes negotiations, the anticipation is almost unbearable, leaving everyone in a state of suspense and speculation that shows no signs of slowing down as the world watches Jalen Carter's next move with bated breath. Even outside the immediate Eagles ecosystem, the implications of Carter's rumored exit are monumental, potentially altering the balance of power in the NFC and beyond. Rival teams are reportedly watching the situation with keen interest, ready to pounce should an opportunity arise to acquire a player of Carter's caliber, whose presence can transform defensive lines and shift momentum in critical games. Scouts, analysts, and general managers are dissecting every play, every highlight reel, and every off-field comment, attempting to assess not only the player's immediate value, but also how his departure would affect team dynamics league-wide. The chatter among sports commentators has reached fever pitch, with debates raging over what this move would mean for Philadelphia, the potential destinations for Carter, and how his presence could change the competitive landscape, turning previously predictable matchups into unpredictable battles for supremacy. Social media amplifies this, with fans creating narratives, hypothesizing trade scenarios, and dissecting every interview and press release for hidden meaning, while sports journalists scramble to provide context, expert analysis, and insider perspectives in a whirlwind of reporting. The psychological impact on the Eagles' locker room cannot be overstated, as even the most composed veterans are reportedly grappling with the uncertainty, feeling the tension of a potential reshuffling of roles and responsibilities should Carter's exit become a reality. This story is developing rapidly, with new updates seemingly every hour, making it not just a sports headline but a cultural phenomenon, a story that will be remembered as a pivotal moment in the franchise's history. Meanwhile, Carter himself remains elusive in public statements, fueling further speculation, as his silence is interpreted by some as strategic, by others as reflective of internal conflict, adding a layer of mystery that intensifies the drama. The narrative has all the hallmarks of a blockbuster saga: talent, conflict, suspense, and high stakes, with the next chapters poised to redefine careers, team fortunes, and perhaps even the direction of the league itself. The tension surrounding Jalen Carter's rumored departure has reportedly reached a boiling point within the Eagles' inner circle, with insiders describing an atmosphere thick with anticipation, frustration, and strategic recalculations. According to sources close to the team, private meetings between coaches, management, and key players have become increasingly frequent, all aimed at determining how to navigate a potential shakeup that could redefine not only the defensive lineup but the team's entire identity. The locker room, normally a place of camaraderie and mutual support, is now described as a space of hushed conversations, sidelong glances, and occasional bursts of heated debate, as teammates try to reconcile loyalty to a star player with the practical realities of preparing for upcoming games. The strategic implications are staggering. Defensive coordinators are reportedly redrawing plans, evaluating backup options, and preparing contingency schemes in case Carter's exit becomes official, while executives weigh trade possibilities, contract negotiations, and public relations strategies to manage fan reactions. Meanwhile, whispers of other teams making inquiries have fueled a sense of urgency, with rival franchises reportedly calculating how Carter's skills could shift their competitive advantage. The media frenzy continues unabated, with sports outlets, podcasts, and social media channels dissecting every detail, every rumor, and every leaked statement, creating an almost cinematic narrative that blurs the line between reality and speculation. Fans are glued to every update, knowing that the coming days could mark a seismic shift for the Eagles and the league, and the tension is palpable, almost tangible, as if the entire NFL landscape is holding its breath for Carter's next move. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments, and let's talk birds. Meanwhile, the psychological impact on the Eagles' remaining roster cannot be overstated, as players are reportedly navigating a complex mix of emotions ranging from concern and confusion to determination and defiance. Some teammates are said to feel personally betrayed, struggling to understand why one of their most talented colleagues would even consider leaving a team that has invested so heavily in his development and showcased him on the national stage. Others reportedly empathize, recognizing that professional athletes often weigh personal goals, career trajectories, and long-term ambitions when making life-altering decisions, creating a complicated landscape of loyalty, ambition, and pragmatism within the locker room. Coaches are described as walking a fine line, attempting to stabilize morale while simultaneously preparing for scenarios that may require reshaping defensive strategies, reassigning roles, and managing the emotional fallout of a high-profile player potentially walking away. The media, sensing the drama, has amplified every nuance, framing Carter's rumored intentions as both a personal dilemma and a larger organizational challenge, adding layers of scrutiny and public pressure. Fans, meanwhile, are reportedly polarized, some expressing outrage at the idea of losing a cornerstone player, others excited by the potential for new developments and possible trade dynamics. The ripple effect is significant, touching not only the team's internal dynamics, but also ticket sales, merchandise interest, and public perception, all while the league's broader ecosystem watches intently, analyzing how one player's decision might influence competitive balance and strategic planning across multiple franchises. Every conversation, every statement, and every hint is being parsed for meaning, creating an environment where speculation thrives and certainty feels almost impossible to achieve. Trade rumors surrounding Carter have already begun to dominate sports discourse, with multiple franchises reportedly weighing the benefits of acquiring one of the most impactful defensive talents in recent years. Insiders suggest that teams in need of a game-changing defensive presence are quietly strategizing, analyzing Carter's strengths, weaknesses, contract situation, and potential fit within their own locker rooms, creating a whirlwind of behind-the-scenes maneuvering that is both calculated and frenzied. Analysts have been dissecting tape, evaluating how Carter could alter defensive schemes, and projecting how his arrival or departure might shift playoff probabilities, power rankings, and even draft strategies for multiple franchises. The level of scrutiny is unprecedented, with social media amplifying every leak, every expert opinion, and every speculative trade scenario into a viral conversation that dominates fan discussion. Fans have created hypothetical lineups, mock trades, and what-if analyses, some serious, others tongue-in-cheek, but all contributing to a sense that this is more than a single player's potential move. It is a moment with league-wide ramifications. Meanwhile, Philadelphia executives are reportedly keeping their cards close, balancing public messaging with private negotiations, aware that any misstep could affect Carter's market value, team morale, and public perception. The dynamic is tense, high-stakes, and fluid, with insiders indicating that decisions are likely to unfold rapidly, leaving fans, analysts, and players alike in a state of constant anticipation. The ongoing speculation is creating a media storm reminiscent of the most dramatic sports narratives in recent history, elevating the situation beyond a standard roster change into a full-blown saga that could define careers, team legacies, and the competitive landscape for years to come. Off the field, the social media reaction to Carter's rumored intentions has been explosive, with fans, influencers, and former players weighing in on the situation with a mix of analysis, humor, outrage, and speculation. Hashtags related to Carter and the Eagles are trending, comment sections are flooded with theories, and meme culture has transformed the rumor into a cultural phenomenon that extends far beyond football alone. The intensity of the conversation reflects not only the importance of Carter as a player, but also the emotional investment of fans who see the potential departure as a pivotal moment in the franchise's narrative. Sports podcasts and video channels have ramped up coverage, with each outlet striving to deliver the latest inside scoop, often featuring dramatic reenactments, speculative graphics, and expert panels debating Carter's motivations, potential destinations, and impact on the league. This digital maelstrom is creating an environment where every minor development is magnified, where speculation becomes news, and where the boundary between rumor and confirmation blurs, generating unprecedented public attention. Meanwhile, within Philadelphia, the locker room reportedly remains on edge, with players absorbing the external noise while grappling with internal uncertainties about their future roles and team cohesion. The interplay between off-field chatter and on-field preparation has created a complex dynamic, forcing coaches and management to engage in constant communication, reassurance, and contingency planning, as they attempt to manage both perception and reality. The combination of personal ambition, team loyalty, strategic consideration, and media frenzy has transformed Carter's potential decision into a multi-layered narrative, simultaneously emotional, tactical, and highly public, keeping every stakeholder, from fans to rivals, on edge. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.